And why it is because over 30 years ago, I met this crazy SOB at the 4th grade bus stop. I swear to you, when I first laid eyes on this dude, he was perpendicular to the ground, or not perpendicular, like horizontal to the ground, hanging at a 90-degree off a stop sign. And I was like, what the hell did I just get myself into? And since that, we had a budding, flourishing relationship, been best friends our whole lives. Obviously, life got in the way. You go to college, you get married, you start businesses, things happen. Fittingly enough, our midlife crisis brought us back together, hence the name. We're older than most people in this space, but we found NFTs about a year ago, and then we said, you know what, we're really gonna create a company. As we get more connected, as we go into the metaverse, what we're about to do is meeting new people, having real raw conversations. We think it's gonna become a lost art. So we're here to make that happen, to bring it all to you, and to help you expand, learn, and grow. And we came up with a very simple mission statement. That mission statement is to bring back the lost art of genuine human connection. And I got one last thing to say, and I'm dead serious when I say this. I genuinely, and Maddie genuinely believes we were put on earth to do exactly what we're doing now. We love doing this. We love meeting new people, and it just gets us so freaking excited. We think you as family, and we love you all. So, at the base and the heart of midlife crisis, not gonna lie, it's Mikey G and Maddie Mintz. And why it is because over 30 years ago, I met this crazy SOB at the 4th grade bus stop. I swear to you, when I first laid eyes on this dude, he was perpendicular to the ground, or not perpendicular, like horizontal to the ground, hanging at a 90-degree off a stop sign. And I was like, what the hell did I just get myself into? And since that, we had a budding, flourishing relationship, been best friends our whole lives. Obviously, life got in the way. You go to college, you get married, you start businesses, things happen. Fittingly enough, our midlife crisis brought us back together, hence the name. We're older than most people in this space, but we found NFTs about a year ago, and then we said, you know what, we're really gonna create a company. As we get more connected, as we go into the metaverse, what we're about to do is meeting new people, having real raw conversations. We think it's gonna become a lost art. So we're here to make that happen, to bring it all to you, and to help you expand, learn, and grow. And we came up with a very simple mission statement. That mission statement is... What up, folks? Oh man, my thing is all cranked up. How we doing tonight, people? We've got a hell of a show in. Maddie, you want to check that volume since it's been a hot minute since we did a live show? We've done recordings, but I think I sound beautiful. How we doing out there, fam?
You sound fantastic.
All right, that's fantastic. So yeah, we're here. I'm excited to be back. We recorded our last podcast. That was a hell of a conversation with the DGen Distillery guys. Josh, we'll have to link you up with those guys. They're super cool. They're building a worldwide distillery out of Europe using NFT technology. They're not, they're building companies, and that's what I like to call it. And it says DGen Distillery still because I haven't updated that yet. So it's not the company that we're talking to today. It's Chompies. But I do, we've created this narrative, Josh, and I'd love to get your input before I talk to Maddie, which is we call people we have on, we don't use the word project anymore. We call them companies. What are your thoughts there? You believe in that?
Oh, absolutely. At the end of the day, our goal for Chompies and kind of what we aspire to be is a project, a company. We're going to be heavily involving our IP within kind of our future plans, branching out, even not to jump ahead here either.
Yeah.
But this is something I'm excited about for our project. But like we are the only. There was a tooth-related project not long ago, but I don't even think they're around or even functioning or operating anymore. But to be the only like real kid-friendly tooth-related project, even in the entire space. I mean, even if you look, I kind of researched before I even started this project a while back, and there were none. At the end of the day, I wanted to do something that wasn't like another animal. And people often ask me like, well, are you a dentist? Why did you go with teeth? I'm like, honestly, I didn't want to do another cute animal. All the
Right.
animals have been done.
Yeah.
Bears,
Yeah.
dogs, cats. Like, I love animals. I'm an animal lover. All animals have teeth. But anyway, I just went with something you could use the full body. Cute. But anyway, all that being said, like, we have plans, and we're kind of even in the works of contacting some bigger brands like Colgate, Oral-B, even looking at launching possibly. I'm not dropping major alpha here, but these are things we've already brainstormed and talked about as a project about contacting some of these bigger companies as far as launching or starting like a kid-friendly toothpaste, toothbrush line, something like that.
Yeah. So what I was getting at though is you consider yourself a company, like NFT projects.
Absolutely.
That term we're getting rid of. We bring companies on, entrepreneurs like yourself, and we have some awesome conversations. But before we do your beautiful introduction, because you gave us a lot of great content, Maddie, how you doing, buddy? You excited to be live tonight? Because I am.
Yeah, man, it was a nice little surprise, I mean, we've been having fun cutting up content offline and getting it out there to folks, but this is our roots, right? We love the live show, and so I'm excited about it, man. And in terms of man, the interesting being in the world of real estate, Mikey, because there's so much tech that is geared towards it's one of those few spaces where the average person has money to invest in tools.
Right.
A lot of career paths don't have that, or the company provides it. Right. And so then it's like one team selecting it. But in real estate, you truly kind of get this free market thing. And man, what AI has been doing lately when it comes to sales, I'm telling you right now, the next 2 years is going to transform the way we do a lot of things. And that was a lot of my day today was just really just kind of having my mind blown about all the stuff that you can really do. And it's been good, man. I'm like in that creative mindset right now. I'm excited. What about you, man?
Dude, same here. I was literally in ChatGPT for like an hour and a half today doing a bunch of our reviews or, YouTube descriptions. But so one of the guys that, not one of the guys. I think I did solar. Or you might have been part of it when we had Damian from Fusion XYZ on real estate. He was into real estate from Australia, right? He started doing YouTube content and talking about AI. And this is where it gets, the scary part is we are not too far away from full blown realistic video that you cannot tell if it's real or not. And that is completely going to screw this whole world up.
Well, and it's crazy stuff. Like it's starting out by these little add-ons that make life more convenient. I know just ChatGPT, we can all relate to that.
Right.
But even little things, like Alan recording a video, right? Well, there's all these softwares already there for teleprompters. The problem is you can see when somebody's eye, right, is doing the teleprompter.
Right.
Well, now they have an AI tool does one very simple thing. It just simply corrects your eyes so it's looking at the camera, even though you're not. And it's eerie, man, because it's good. Like you can't tell. And I'm thinking, what's happening? This is live and it's occurring. So anyway, it's going to be crazy, man. And I think what's cool about what we're doing is we're in a space, and I can't wait to have a conversation here. We're in a space where we're all in that mode of being on that cutting edge. What can we do next? How do we move this? How do we move this forward? I think it's gonna be exciting, man.
Hell yeah, man. Well, it's always good to catch up with you, buddy. Let's introduce our highly esteemed guest, Mr. Josh. Also, shout out to Stargirl for linking us up. She's been a fan of the plague from day one. Josh, I don't know how much you know about Stargirl too. Stargirl has been with Midlife since day one, has always been in the background helping us out, and she means the world to us. So thank you, Stargirl. She's the best, and can't wait for the conversation. Go ahead, Maddie, take it away.
Yeah. So Josh is, so we'll just get into it. Josh is a nurse, right? But there's a caveat, because when you hear nurse, you have this thing in your mind, and then he adds in at a mental hospital. And I was like, okay. And then he says, because when he said that, I'm not going to lie, my mind went from one thing to like, what was that horror movie, Mikey? Was it Shutter Island or something like that? Like, then I started thinking like, this dude is one of them. Like, I'm like, bro, this dude sees a whole different array of things on a daily basis. I can only imagine some of the stories you have. And what's wild about it is amongst that, and that's what you've been doing. I mean, that's your career, right? That's what you do when you're not doing Web3, right? Is that you've maintained a heart for giving. And over the last 20 years, you've been going back and forth to Haiti, helping the people there. Something you're very passionate about. It's part of your sleeve, which I respect a lot. And so this theme of giving has been a big part of your life. And I think that's really, really amazing. And obviously that's brought you into Web3, which we're going to be talking about today. You've been in Web3 and you've been involved as a founder of Chompies here for the last 1.5 years with your in real life friend who is also a Josh. So we got Josh Squared rocking this. And this is a lot kind of behind one of your big motivations is you have an autistic son who's 7 years old. That's a big inspiration. And it looks like you have a big part of your project is giving back autism awareness and acceptance. Yeah. And you've been spending a lot of time basically raising money and donating money to a lot of great causes for that. Looks like to date you've already done over 1 ETH in donations, just covering schooling for a young artistic artist. And you've been helping people launch a free mobile game and staking for FRG. Is that correct? For your holders?
Yes, all of the above. All of the above.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and this was something we were proud of right out of the gate because we've been building for so long, for about the last 1.5 years, pushing launch. Some things came up, bear market, push the launch, going through the frog tank, through the plague, push the launch forward. Today, or the last month or so, when we really decided to launch out, we already had the mobile game ready to go. We've been playing it. It's been free, mobile, ready to play, ad free. That's been going on for months. And then we implemented the staking right out of the gate. Right when we launched, we were able to start staking your Chompies for FRG, the Plague Native token, which is going to be part of our ecosystem essentially. And again, that's just something we're proud of. And going back to where I started, even with the mental, I guess you would even say mental health aspect, or working at the mental hospital, and that's been just recently in the last year. But I've been a nurse, or off and on about 7-8 years, but started at this place about a year ago, and just really opened my eyes to a whole other world. Like, I'm drawn to mentally fragile and broken people. I just always have been. Even in times in my life, I've been broken and fragile and dealing with my own trials and tribulations. And I think if everyone was honest, not only just in their own personal life and even in Web3, because a lot of people, when you peel back the layers behind the JPEGs, behind the PFPs, there's real broken people that are dealing with a lot, even myself included. But it was nice to be able to see that aspect. And we made the joke about the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But if you take that movie and update it to today, that's what I'm around daily. I pass medication all day. It's pretty wild to see. And then back to the Haiti deal, I've been going there for 20 some years. Again, you have a lot of people there that are poor, that are dealing with death and poverty day in and day out, mentally fragile, broken people there as well.
Sure.
And I think as you guys know, and we've kind of chatted about this briefly too, like, you get into this place where when it comes to giving back, like, you see a need, you see people that might have a need, be it reaching out to them or helping them, and that's essentially like the goal of Chompies, as cute, kid friendly, fun little project. We want to give back. Like, that's a big ethos behind of what we do, behind what my personal life. And when you touched on my son, my autistic son, I wanted a driving force. Like, I wanted something that would keep me going through tough times. And what better way? And also, if I'm being honest, like, I was never to use my son, but I wanted something that I could remember, like, why I'm here, why I'm doing what I'm doing when times get tough, when things aren't going well, project stuff's not going well, bear market hits, all these things that are going on. Like, he really keeps me going. Like, the thoughts of him, the thoughts of doing why I'm doing what I'm doing. And not only that, but I think all projects should have a core cause. It doesn't have to be autism acceptance. It could be its own little thing, but like, we can all give back something, like, as a project,
for sure.
Company.
Well, let's do this because we want to have a conversation with you, and I want to dive in to where our whole methodology, as we've already told you, is we're going to go through those Star Wars episodes, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to get down to episode 1 and 2 and find some of these core motivations. But even from what I've shared and what I've already heard, it tells us something about your character. And the truth is, people who have that giving mindset are some of the hardest workers I know, because like you said, when you have a cause that's bigger than you, it's what allows you to get up early, stay up late, and put in the work.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be really excited to see this. But what I'm really curious about is I want to rewind and let's get to this episode 1, because I want to know where this started. Where did this come from? Where were the motivations in your life that created this heart that you have for caring? You said 20 years going back and forth to Haiti. You know, when you were young growing up, what was it? What was it growing up that were some of maybe the influences or motivations that you had that put this and made you who you are? I'd be curious to hear that.
Honestly, yeah, I come from a broken home, like severely broken home early on. I grew up in I live in West Virginia currently. I was born and raised here, moved to Texas. Parents got divorced. My dad took me and moved back to West Virginia. Left my mom. She had no choice in that matter. But honestly, my heart stems from my mom. She's been a giver. She, even to this day with my children, like she gives all her time, effort, and energy selflessly. My dad, and I hold no ill will or grudge, or I harbor no ill feelings towards anyone in life, but like even him especially. But he's been selfish his whole life, and through, I think you guys can probably attest to this, and anyone that's had a parent, a father, a mother, someone who did things for their own self-motivation, you either fashion and go that route yourself and become maybe what you don't want to become, or you go the opposite way and you say, I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to do that. My life is going to mean something. I'm going to do something for other people. And that's honestly, that's where my heart comes from. My mom, she was a giver. She's been a giver her whole life. And yeah.
No, I get you, man. So
not to get emo there, but yeah. But it all kind of stems from that parental aspect. Seeing the aspect of my father I didn't want to emulate, and then seeing the hardworking determination, giving that my mom gave, really was an inspiration for me early on.
What's interesting there is you're talking about two dynamics which are powerful when you're young, right? You've got someone that you aspire to be, which was your mom and her caring heart, but then you had also influence of, this is an example of what I don't want to do. Do you have any other examples, childhood influences, whether it be another relative, a mentor, some type of leader throughout schooling that kind of helped you develop mindset professionally? Because, you know, not only are you a giver, but you're also an entrepreneur at heart because you started your own company with Chompies. So anything around there that helped mold that mindset?
Well, honestly, when I got into even if I fast forward to Web3, you take the trips to Haiti, and my heart really just kind of started there. Like I saw a whole other world like you don't get to see here in the States. Like we take everything for granted here. Our poorest people, and there's no knock, there are people that really do suffer here, but like our poorest people are wealthy in a lot of other countries. So when I got to see kind of pull back the curtain and see the other side of third world country, it really opened my eyes to like, there's more out there. There's more to do. There's more work to do. And even when I got into Web3 and into crypto and NFTs back in like early 2021, I saw a need. Like there's, as you guys know, and we see it daily still, even to this day, the cash grab, take. Everything is taken. And again, I'm not a hypocrite too. I came in somewhat for the money. I've always lived modestly. I grew up poor. I want a better life for my family. I obviously came here somewhat for the money, and it didn't keep me here. It didn't sustain me. What sustained me and kept me, honestly, is a lot of the community, a lot of the people that I've been able to surround myself with, the other givers in the space. I've been able to align and really, even if you look at the plague from the top down with Pons, he's a giver at heart. Like I would even say from a perspective of someone I admire and look up to in the space that's really meant a lot to me personally, almost like a father figure in Web3 would be Pons, someone like him because I saw him early on before he even started the project, The Plague. He was a giver. he helped out a young man in Africa have life-saving surgery. And part of that was from the plague funds, but he was helping people before then. And it really kind of drove me like, yeah, this is possible. You can give back in Web3. You can make a difference. Of course, you can make money too. Like we're all trying to make a better life for ourselves, but there is an aspect of Web3 that can really be life-changing for a lot of people. And that's a goal of not only for Chompies, but myself and even the people I've surrounded myself with too. So
yeah, that makes sense. Maddie, what do you got? Yeah, I think it sounds like you have another question.
And is there like a core, because you described it as an ethos that you have, there's like core principles. Was that just something developed by you, or was that structured with something, whether it be like a strong kind of entrepreneurial role model, whether it be maybe like church or a religion of some sort? What kind of, or a discipline, maybe a sport, for example, or a coach?
Where would you? I do have faith. My faith drives me. I think it's probably, a lot of the reason why I gave in the first place. I have a heart for people. I love all people, every walk of life. Like when I came into Web3, I just fell in love with the community, the people. Obviously, there's bad actors anywhere you go, but like when I saw not only the need for the giving aspect, but like being able to see like you can take a small you can take any project. And of course, you can have little aspects like the game, and you can have the art, you can have even the staking and maybe creating money financially, something for your holders. But like being able to give back and change the life, like we were able to do for Caden and Nico, like a family there. Like I wanted to tangibly, we could have given money, and even early on, if I rewind all the way back to the beginning of when my other buddy Josh started this, we were going to give to like an organization. We had reached out to like Autism Speaks and a couple other, big prominent autism related organizations. And at the end of the day, like we got a little pushback from some of the community members, some autistic artists and stuff that really didn't align with or like those companies or those charities. So we kind of stepped back, and I was like, if we say we want to help people and be a change and help the autistic artists in this space, we've got to listen to them. So we did. So we kind of made up our mind. I'd made up my mind that day. Like I want to tangibly do something where we can change the life of, even if it's just one person. It doesn't have to be like throwing money, because I think a lot of projects, and this is no knock because they mean well, but a lot of projects will cut out a portion of their funds and give to a massive charity or some organization, which is great. You need those organizations. But for me personally, I wanted to be able to tangibly, physically see what we were doing was making a change. And luckily and thankfully, we got in touch with Nico, who's the father of Caden, an autistic young boy who's an artist too in the space, really prominent, awesome artist in the space too.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this in maybe a different way. Still on the childhood stuff, because we keep on jumping to Web3, and we really want to get the background behind your mindset. Are there any stories or like fond memories of things that really impacted you growing up, that made you kind of mold you into the person who you are today?
Yeah, pain, a lot of pain, if I'm being completely honest. I was a sensitive child.
And you don't have to go into the detail of the painful stories, but even describing what that pain did for you, right?
Yeah, it drove me, honestly, even if I kind of circle back to dealing with the family aspect. Honestly, we were such kind of like a tight-knit family, and even growing up, all I remember is aspects even from like, 4 or 5 all the way up until when my parents got divorced when I was 12. But really everything was about I had some friends here and there, but like maybe the pain from childhood really made me focus on my parents specifically. And most children do that, but like it made me realize when I did become a dad, like how impactful you are as a father,
right,
as a parent to that child, and what like I wanted to not do. And I had other people in my life. My grandfather was a big influence, a really good, solid man. And even going back to my dad, like he was married. My dad's been married. He's on his 6th marriage.
Wow.
And he and I haven't talked in 13. It's been 13 years since I've even spoken to him. He hasn't met my children or anything. But like my grandfather, he's passed away since, but he was a man like very stable, very consistent, very loving, caring. I gleaned a lot from the way he kind of carried himself and the way he stuck by his family even when times were tough.
Right. Right.
And again, I know there's other areas maybe you're wanting to touch into, but like honestly, from even just now that I'm turning back the pages, kind of like you're helping me peel back layers. I remember only my family to a certain
Right.
degree. I had
Right.
childhood
That's
friends
okay.
and stuff that were childhood friends that maybe were some bad influences, but
Yeah.
the best influences of my life were the values and the things I learned from my family, and especially my
Got it.
grandfather and my.
Yeah, no, thanks for
So-
sharing that. And I think again that reframes the fact that like you
Yeah.
took that pain and
Mhm.
disadvantage and turned it into motivation, which is really cool. Maddie, before I kind of move on to like starting career, college, high school area, do you have anything else?
No,
Sounded
that's
like you
actually
were
what I was gonna do.
okay.
No, that I was.
So
Yep, getting us there.
knowing that part of your childhood, and that gives us context. And the reason we do that is now we're starting to get an understanding of who you are, why you think the way you think. We've got the giving from your mom. We've got,
Yeah.
grandfather strong figure about you wanting to be a good role model, sticking through the tough times. But then there's the whole you love to give. Like you said, you've traveled abroad to help give back. My initial thought would be, well, you would have gone into um, maybe multiple different paths when in high school and then approaching college. What was your mindset in high
Yeah.
school and approaching college? What did you think you wanted to do at that time, and what was going through your head?
I grew up in a small town area, Appalachian, rural, like
Right.
not a lot here. And I love certain aspects of it now, even looking back. Like you complain about where you're from when you're young, and then when you
Yeah.
leave, you're like, yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
Right. Right.
And I'm actually living back in the area I grew up that I went to high school in, which I never thought I would be back here. But even circling back, divorce and separation this past year brought me to where I am now. But yeah, I think when I graduated high school, I was like about 90% of kids. I had no clue what I wanted to do.
Right.
I knew I wanted to do something. I knew you're told you need to go to college.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want, I mean, like, honestly, I was so burnt out on school and kind of even the aspects of high school I hated. Like I was like, I don't want to go to school. So I worked briefly. I worked at a hospital. There was a hospital close by. Thought nothing of nursing, had no idea or even desire to do nursing. I think at that time I thought, well, mostly women do nursing, so it's not like something that's even for me. But working at the hospital kind of opened my eyes up. I met some guys that were nurses that I really were friends with, and it's like, yeah, man, there was a couple programs close by where I lived that offered the program. It was actually the LPN program at the time, just kind of a 1-year program. You go in, you complete it. It's pretty grueling, and then you pass your boards, and then you can either work or go back to school. I did that, went through, passed, and really had a good time doing that. Like it was exhausting, but rewarding at the same time. And then right around that same time is when I started going to Haiti. I took off and with a group. I went with just some like giving group, like a charitable group. And then I started going on my own about a year or two after that, going to Haiti on my own because I made some friends there and really wanted to kind of do my own thing there and started to. This was way before the earthquake that happened in 2010, I believe it was. I was going about 8 years prior to then. But yeah, the nursing aspect, the school aspect, I had to drive. I was a little kind of a wayward kid. Like I love my friends, but we were all just kind of like we did whatever, didn't really care about this or that. I had no aspirations for a family or anything. I just wanted to kind of just enjoy life and do my own thing. But again, the giving aspect was always in my heart. My heart was to give. My heart was to help. I didn't know what that entailed, like from a professional standpoint. But that's what led me to nursing and kind of where I went and got away from and then came back to just recently, even after COVID had happened, and why I'm doing what I do today.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And the Haiti thing's interesting to me too. Do you have again, I think you've hinted at it's just eye-opening to see how bad other parts of the world can be, and that, even poor people here kind of seem rich compared to other parts of the world.
Mhm.
That's kind of like the uh, negative aspects to it, but at the same time, you're helping. I'd love to hear any like stories that resonate with you, or any thoughts that you look back fondly of the Haiti experience and what you did, and the kind of impacts you made there.
Yeah, well, obviously I have my tattoo, so the country itself, the people there are just beautiful. They mean a lot to me. But yeah, early on when I started going, I think anytime you kind of live in a small town area, which is where I grew up, you have not dream you have dreams. I always knew like I was meant for bigger things. I feel like I kind of got dropped out of the sky into this area I live. Nothing against the area, but like, I got braids, tattoos. I don't look like everyone around here, and never really have. Not that I didn't fit in because I had friends and stuff, but I always just felt like there was more out there, and my heart wanted to give. So I was like, I just started like researching. This is years before the earthquake of 2010. Nobody even really knew about Haiti. I don't even remember how I'd come about. I think I'd read something, just some like random pamphlet, or I saw a commercial or something. I was like, I want to go there. And in my mind, I'd made up, I'm like, I'm going to go there.
Mhm.
No clue what I was going to expect when I got there. When I got there, when I landed on this worn out, like, to say the word surreal, like, you know how you experience something in life, you could take pictures of it, but you can never describe it to someone. Like, you just can't.
Sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
there's instances in life that you experience, be it like seeing the Grand Canyon, or seeing beautiful landscapes, and you take pictures and you're like, these just don't do it justice. I remember landing and like just my heart sunk, my jaw dropped, getting off the plane, like getting out into the streets is just chaos, like utter chaos. But I fell in love with the people, man. The people there, I had such a heart for the children there. They're just people everywhere that have nothing, but they still smile. And this was another aspect of my life, like being able to see people that have nothing and still smile and still love you and still are happy even though they have nothing. I think a lot of people that go there and even go to other parts of the world where they're going for like a reason, or even if it's like missionary work or charitable, like Red Cross or something like that, you go there to give, but you end up getting, like, I got so much from those trips. Like, I was so touched and moved by the
Yeah.
people. Like, it affected, like, they helped me. I felt like I wasn't even helping them. Like, they changed my life. And even today, like, I still talk to and keep in contact with about 15 or 20 people there, like about every week. I talk to them daily. I'd posted something a while back on Twitter. I was able to and I don't mind talking about stuff that I do because it needs to be done, but like I don't want it to come across like, yeah, well, look what I'm doing, because that's not my heart. Like, I don't. But stories need to be told sometime, and people need to see why you're here. But I was able to help, like, this young boy that I've been helping since he was probably 3 or 4 years old. He's a young man now. He was able to have. I kind of had to like step in and send some finances to help him. I actually sold. I tweeted about. I sold a plague frog because I didn't have money at the time. I think I got like around $600-700 for the plague frog. Sold the frog and sent the money to him to be able to have life. He had lost a lot of blood. He had. I think he had his appendix removed and lost a ton of blood because surgeries there are just terrible. So I was messaging his family, sent him the money, sold the plague frog, sent him the money, and he was able to have life. Like, I hate to say, like, it saved his life. Like, they didn't have money to help him, and the hospitals there are just, if you don't have money, they're just like, sorry, you're not going to get service.
Yeah.
You're not going to be seen. Not like here where you have insurance and they have to see you. There's laws, they have to see you regardless. So anyway, I was able to sell the frog, send him the money, and he sent me some pictures back. But yeah, I mean, he had a scar, about a 8-inch scar on his stomach where he had the surgery, and he about died. But yeah, and I even made like a offhanded comment, like the power of Web3. Like, I was able to, because of that frog, I was able to sell and essentially save someone I love dearly, save his life. And again, I would have come up with the money somehow, some way
Right.
otherwise. But at the time, I had my only assets were some frogs that I had. So I sold one.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful to kind of be able to be a part of that and be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
And even looking back, it wasn't that long, it was months ago, but yeah, it was pretty cool to be a part of and do. So
Dude, you're speaking like a truly humble person. Like, I appreciate
I'm
you
a
sharing
douchebag
these
now.
stories because you're like, I didn't even want to tell a story about saving somebody's life, but you absolutely should be telling that story because, you know, people
Yeah.
that good cause and that good vibe need to get out because there's not a lot of that as well. And
I
so
think
that
people need to see that in not only in Web3, but like
just in life, man.
there's
For
certain
sure.
ways you can go about it where you're not doing this, look at me TikTok stuff, like some of that gets a little annoying. But some of these stories do need told, like Caden and Nico's story, they need told. Like people need to see other people give because they're like, oh well, I can do that. Why? Like from some of these stories and some of these life-changing, like I said, the tangible giving we've been able to do, we've been able to raise and do so much stuff. Like, and I know we'll get into that, but like we've been able to do so much because other people see you giving and they're like, I want to be a part of that. I want to do that. How do I help out? Like it's crazy how these things come together. There's so many people in the community and in the space in general that want to give. They just sometimes don't know how to. So it's cool to be a part of that, or at least be a catalyst for that.
Absolutely. Maddie, what
Sure.
do you got? That Haiti story was fantastic. Do you have anything or do
Yeah,
you
a
want to
couple
kind of
things.
move into Web3 or you got a
We
question?
can just a couple, I think, just comments on it. I mean, to your point, when you got off that plane, I think when you visit areas like that and you see people still happy, it's really important for perspective, right? It
Oh,
gives you a spirit of gratitude, and it lets us take a step back and say, man, our lives are pretty amazing here. In retrospect, you know what I mean? It's like when you think about the hierarchy of needs, like we're fighting way up here, and you have to see when people are fighting down here, it looks a lot different. And if they can still be smiling, have close families, enjoy, dinner with each other, even though it may not be a large dinner or it may not be dinner, but, enjoy that time. I think that that's a really important thing just for people to get some perspective and get out there and say, this is something that can, I think, add value to anyone's life. So I commend you for doing that. And
I've said this
I think
before.
that's important.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. I've said this before. I think everyone at some point in their life, not should go to Haiti, but should go somewhere that challenges you, that makes you see things. You don't have to go there for the rest of your life. You don't have to be a part of that for the rest of your life. It made me want to do that, but but everyone, I've even told my children this, like one day you'll go somewhere that will take you out of your comfort zone. You will be uncomfortable, but you will see a different side of the world because we're kind of confined in this our own little bubble, so to speak, of where we live in the States and even in the small town that I live in. But everyone at some point in their life should really challenge themselves and go to a place where people have nothing, because it'll really it'll make you check yourself and check when you come back. Like, I can't believe I complain about this. I always
Yeah, I
make
think
comments now like first world problems.
for
We complain
sure,
about so
for
many things.
sure. We do. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: each problems are our own, right? We're in our own sense of
Absolutely.
normal, right? And so, it is apples and oranges, but it's an important thing to if you're around apples, it's an important thing to have an orange every once in a while, right? And
Yeah,
just like know
absolutely.
that it's there, know that it's different. And I would even extend that to say, I don't think it's just something that people should do once in their life. I think it's something you should continually strive to do,
Yeah.
and not just oranges, right? What else is out there? I think getting outside of your comfort zone in many different areas is healthy for your mind, right? Get around other perspectives, get around people who think differently than you, and don't go there to win an argument. Go there to hear and absorb. And I think that those things really, really make us better as a society, as a people, because man, I can tell you, social media has done a good job of keeping us in echo chambers and keeping us
Yeah.
like in our own little circle. And it's wild what you can find if you just step out of that and you realize, man, we are all a lot more alike than we are different. And there's something like truly good in that. And I think that if we can find that, that's a benefit for a lot of people. So,
What's
and
wild
Web3
too
is
to
doing a
even
good job of that, actually,
yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
think too,
Josh.
like
What are your thoughts?
we kind of get caught up in our little echo chambers, and we're on this team or we're on this team.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of that's just kind of like everyone picks their team and then they root for their team, or this team's bad, this team's good. Like for me, the community overall, like to be able to be, I think that's one reason and one thing I've been so impressed with and loved about the play community is it's not just like-minded people, but kind of a mature aspect. Like that, a lot of them are rooting for other people too. Not all, but like it's one of
Sure.
those communities. It's cool to be a part of something that sees the bigger picture and sees like we're all in this together. It's not just about this project or this project. We kind of want, and again, that stems from the top down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Me as a leader, for me as a leader and a founder for Chompies, I have to be that for my community. Like
Right.
I want people to see like this guy cares about other projects and people, gives to other things. I saw that in the Plague and Pawns, which is what drew me to them early on.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just about them. At the end of the day, like I want my project to succeed and it will succeed, but I want others to succeed as well. And I think
Right.
when you go into it with that mindset, other people see that, it resonates, and it gets more people kind of
For sure.
on your team, so to speak. You know?
100%. So speaking of that, Matt, are you ready to get into that Web3 and community? Let's talk
Let's do
about.
it.
So we've got big heart forgiven, huge impact for Haiti. You've got a really, really great mindset. You take us through finding Web3, your kind of initial perceptions there. And I have one question. As you're explaining Web3 to us, any learning lessons from your episode 1 or 2 that you think helped you make the transition to Web3, or helped your mindset understand Web3 a little bit better? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I got into, just to start where I kind of went into, I think the early crypto bull run, when I think it was around 2021, when like it was just like that's when the news kind of really broke, and even in my small area I started hearing people talk about it, not even in my personal life but even on the news and stuff. So I got interested, just not only in the technology but just in cryptocurrency overall. I just thought it was a neat aspect of something I wanted to kind of dive into. And I'm one of these people, like when I learn about something new and it interests me, like I go into that. I really want to be a part of it. And then I got into the community aspect of it. And cryptocurrency community is a lot different than the NFT world, the NFT community, so to speak. So I started in crypto in the early 2021. I'm a collector. I've been a collector my whole life. I've collected baseball cards. I collected comic books early on. I've collected seashells, for goodness sake. Like I've always collected something. So it's been in my, and I think a lot of men for the most part have collecting in their DNA for some reason. It must go back to centuries or something. I don't know. But so when I found
Trophies.
NFTs,
Collecting
I was
trophies.
like, yeah, exactly. So yeah, when I found NFTs, I was like, man, like these are like, I just liken them to digital trading cards. I collect cards. Like even if you go through the mint process, when you mint something and it's not revealed yet, it's like when I would open baseball cards, or if you have Pokemon cards, whatever, the excitement of getting ready to open that pack, you don't know what you're about to get. Same thing with the launch or mint process. You're minting, you buy that NFT or you buy that token, and you're waiting for it to reveal to see if you got a rare or something, that trait that you like. Same thing, and that really, I got hooked on that aspect of it. And then being able to kind of like bringing back maybe my personal life into that. At the time, I was married, had kids, and like this was right post, obviously post COVID, and everyone was we were just kind of like in our house a lot. I was able to do more research online and stuff. My wife at the time was not real big on me getting into crypto. It was kind of like a lot of people, I think, with an unknown, and like, what is this, a scam? It sounds like a scam, and you hear all that stuff. But it was pretty wild at the time, looking back, like how far I've come since then. I went full on crypto, rolled everything into NFTs. I just went full on NFTs, I think June, July, August, somewhere around 2021. And then started kind of like just the idea, and talked to my buddy Josh, I think late 2021, early 2022, about starting a project, because I just wanted to do something. not only in the giving aspect, but I talked with him. I was like, what can we do? Like he's like, well, I can make a game. I'm like, you can make a game? Like, really? He's like, yeah, I do coding, man. Anyway, so it kind of went from there, but it was kind of cool to look back even now that we've launched and it feels like 10 years ago, but it's not even been about 2 at this point. So
I love it, man. That's a good little intro. I think getting in before we get into your actual project, kind of this journey through Web3. What do you think people, what are their misconceptions about the NFT space or, the crypto space as a whole? What do you think people, what do you wish they would know that maybe they don't know because they're just drowned out by this message of NFTs, crypto's a scam?
Yeah, and I think you guys, it's cool to talk with people not only like you, but like I'm so immersed in this world now to have these conversations with people that get it, like that know the power of Web3, the technology behind it, what it can do. It's frustrating for me. I'm an impatient creature by nature. Just in my personal life, I get a little, impatient with, because I've had a lot of people like, well, what is that? Is that like I heard it's a scam. I heard Bitcoin's a scam. It's amazing to me. Like I honestly live in an area I can't name on more than one hand the people I've had like actual conversations with about it that even remotely get it. Obviously Josh, but when I contacted Josh, when I talked to Josh in like early or late 2021, early 2022, he's a tech guy, computer guy, brain the size of this table that my phone is sitting on, like and a good guy, good giving, amazing guy. But I was like, surely he knows about cryptocurrency, Web3, because he's a tech guy. I brought it up to him. He's like, no, man, I've no, what's that? And I was just like, man, like, am I the only person like in my mind, because I'd asked around, like no one had a clue about it. Because then at the time I was so into it, I was just like, there's got to be people around me that know. No one. Like I live in an area where no one knew. And I think even a lot of people that I've come in contact with in the Web3 space and in NFT world, like there are so many stories where trying to explain it to your family or friends, like it's hard for them to get it. But like if you dumb it down, and even when I tell people now about the NFT side or the Web3 side, because they're like, well, is that a thing? And I'm like, listen, if I could break it down for you, like in the simplest terms, like the internet, you see the internet today, like we use it every single day. At the time the internet like came about and was really starting to flourish and come onto the scene, like a lot of people at that time thought it was a fad or a scam. There were news articles about it like being a joke almost. Look at it today. I was like, you take the technology that Web3 brings and what it means to society and what it means for the future of technology in general. We're at the early stage of the internet. If you were going to break it down in a Web3 sense, when I tell people that have no clue, I'm like, the internet at that time is what Web3 is today. Like we are early. The technology is there. It's cutting edge. It can change the world, and it already has in some aspects. And then when I talk about NFTs, I talk about the trading card aspect. I said, you take a trading card, because most people I know, even guys I know that still collect and stuff, I'm like, you're looking at a piece of cardboard that has value. All that is a piece of cardboard. You give it value. The person's face on that card gives it value. The market gives it value. I said, these NFTs, these pictures of monkeys and these things that you see like on the news that are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars, it is a trading card, but it's not a piece of cardboard. It's a digital card. And that card, people give it value. The market gives it value. Like we as a community give it value. And that's why they're going for the amounts. Like I remember buying a baseball card not long ago and then it going up in value. But like some of those cards today that I collected back then are, going for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for essentially a piece of cardboard that someone gives value to.
Sure.
And when I kind of break it down for my in real life Web2 friends, I kind of break it down that way. Like it's essentially a cardboard trading card that's digital that we give value to. But there's so much more to NFTs, as you know, the utility to behind them, and even kind of what we're offering. It's like a token, a way into a club or a way into a project or something with this digital asset. So anyway,
And
that's my spiel.
for a great, fantastic story. I think before we get into your project, one more kind of question, and what is obviously other than your project, as this Web3 space is evolving, I told you one of the things that we have concentrated on is we're really trying to find companies. We're off the like trying to get hot projects on the show. We just want to talk to entrepreneurs. That's kind of the direction we're going, right? Utilizing Web3 technology. In your mind, when you're on Twitter and doing the Web3 thing, what are you paying attention to in this space other than building your own company?
I will say what I don't pay attention to, and this is, I'll speak to that first, is what we're seeing a lot of now, which is the cash grab, and again, it's entertaining and I get it, but like, I think a lot of the people I'm surrounded with, the Scott Mitchells, the Pawns, different individuals like builders in the space, people that I've become friends with, even my good friend that's helped me out with the project, and he's a big reason why we're successful today. Martin NFT Love is his name. He's a Plague member as well, but he's my community manager, project manager. He's done a lot for us. But I think we're so tired of that noise. I think I don't pay attention to that stuff any longer. It caught my attention early on, and I think it does for the most part. It's almost like a Springer episode when all the drama and people talking smack online. I'm too old for that. Like I've got other stuff to do. We're busy building. And I do pay attention to, and what catches my eye are people that are really adding value, people that are, and not transparent in the sense like they're docs, but transparent in their giving, transparent in what they're able to produce for their project. And I think the docs thing too is a little overblown and overhyped. Like I've been super doc since day one, because I just wanted people not only to see that I was here for the right reasons, and even involving my son to a certain degree, because I wanted people to know, like, you'd have to be a pretty special scumbag to use your son to start a project and then rug or do something crazy like that.
Right.
So that's not for everyone, but I think it's one of those things too, when you see people that are doxxed or not doxxed, the real question is, are you providing value for your community? Are you proving yourself not day in and day out, but like, I think the new meta and the new people that I really pay attention to are the founders that show up, that are active, that answer questions, that are there for their community. Those are the people I'm drawn to. Those are the people I really kind of glean from and pay attention to. And it's pretty cool to I think we're seeing a lot more of that being the standard now. The Wobbs, the Pawns, Scott Mitchell's, guys that have already built, proven, and are still doing it today, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of that.
Yeah, they're building companies, like we said. They're around for the long haul. Maddie, what are your thoughts?
Josh, what do you think the biggest challenge, not in NFTs, but just blockchain Web3 as a whole? What do you think the biggest challenge in Web3 is?
Communication. I'm a communicator. Like I can do this all day long, and I love this. I love face-to-face communication. But this is just one aspect of the difficulty for me. I like sitting in a room with people and being able to, like, not only just see how serious someone is, but even like what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of the people that I deal with and that we talk to are in different parts of the world, different time zones, the communication, like from a project aspect, some of my team are in different parts of the world, and like trying to line stuff up or get things on schedule and task is really difficult, but it's inevitable. Like there's no way around it. It's what we have now, not only Twitter, but Spaces and what you guys offer. That's what's so special about what you guys are doing. And even just thinking about what I'm doing right now with you guys, it's so awesome to be a part of this, because for one, this is the first kind of interview I've done that's been like this in the last 2 years that I've been in Web3. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
But it's really necessary that people see your heart, hear your heart. I think Spaces are really important. From what I've seen, most of our growth has happened in some of these bigger spaces, and even some of the smaller spaces where people can really hear what you're all about, essentially.
Yeah.
So communication is the best part of Web3, and it's also probably the most challenging for me from a project founder standpoint, trying to get everyone on the same page. Miscommunication, stuff gets lost in translation. Somebody takes something out of context that you didn't mean.
Right.
But that's that way. That's kind of that way in real life too. But
Yeah.
in real life, you can like go see your buddy or call him up.
Yeah.
Sometimes here it's a little more difficult to do that. So.
And to redefine that real quick, because and then we'll go into the project. I interpret that two ways: communication, as in what you're saying. It's just hard to communicate with people in your project company all over the world. There's logistical things there, but I'm also hearing communication as in a lot of this space in new tech is about hype and fluff, and you're not getting genuine communication like we're trying to do here. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that is it. And again, as you probably deal with too, since I started this project, especially lately, since we've gained some hype and some like building up some steam, so to speak, and since our launch, I get hundreds of DMs every day that are absolutely not either real people. They have no real interest in me or my project. They want to offer this, offer that. And again, you see that, and I'm just a small fish in a giant pond. I can only imagine what some of these larger founders, Pond, Wob, those guys deal with on the daily and the DMs and stuff. Like, there's so much of that. And again, that's just very surface base level. That's easy to just kind of shoo away. But the communication aspect from a perspective of mine, like where it's like, I want to talk to someone. The only way I can really try to hit them up is on a DM. Their DM box is full. They would probably talk to me and love to hear me otherwise, but like that lack of trying to like reach out to someone, to reach out to them, get in their Discord. There are a lot of avenues, which is great. So it is a first world problem. But having people like you all here, like you reached out to me through Stargirl, who I absolutely adore and love, and I'm going to give her flowers before I forget about it. She's been a great community member too. I know you guys love her, but she's great. She's positive. She's very willing to help and be there for not only my community, but many others, and including you guys. But having people like that is important for communication.
Yeah.
Because if I tried to do it, I've tried to do some of it on my own for so long, and it was just, I was like beating my head against the wall.
Right.
Having people that can communicate effectively, that can help you with that, and that are good at it themselves and can reach out, maybe reach people that you can't. Like Stargirl is the reason we're talking today. And again, you kind of get locked in your echo chamber. I would have maybe never found you guys or vice versa had it not been for some of these great communicators and people that are in our space that are here for the greater good and to help and to bring good people together like us, man.
For sure, man. The network is extremely powerful. It's a major component of how we were able to keep going. I mean, listen, early on, when things were going nuts, Mike being at Hate Beast, it was easy because everybody just, once you said that, people were interested, right? But after that, luckily, what Mike is really good at is he cultivated those friendships and those networks, which, by the way, was wild. How many people who were just in the community there at that project that ended up founding new projects or doing other things? I mean, I feel like countless of them got started there. And then just from there, to your point, it's like you have to hold on to those, and it's not just who you know, it's who they know and who they know, right? And that's one of the easiest. And that's from the end. That's in the corporate world too, right? I mean, it's just networking is always a very powerful tool. It's still a very big component of how business is done. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
let me jump in here 1 second. Let me do a very brief, quick intermission, like a walk away and walk back.
Yeah.
I got 7%. I got 7%. I forgot how much these type of.
Oh no, you're good.
No. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I had 43% when we started. I got 7% now. So my
it's all your passion coming through your video, dude.
Exactly.
Just oozing out. Yeah, I'm zapping my own battery with all my energy here. Give me 12 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Dude, Mikey, chat. Look at the crew coming in here.
I know, bro. People are
broing out.
Can
Can I actually say it? ATX, Outcast, Stargirl. Man,
AKX, Outcast. I haven't seen that name in a hot minute.
it's
Welcome
been
back,
a
Outcast.
bit.
ATX Dub Step. I love saying that name. It gets me excited. But yeah, man, it's been popping the whole time. People love the
Yeah.
Chompies, man. And I think it goes back to like just good people, genuine. We were just talking, Josh, like the chat's been popping the whole time. You can tell that you have people that care about you, and it comes from that authenticity, and we have a similar vibe with our crew, and it's so important. And one of the things that you said that I love the most is we've asked that question obviously multiple times, and one of the immediate responses like a deep nuanced conversation about the technology, but you just came very plain and simple with communication, which is a
Yeah.
universal principle.
Yep.
And it's interpreted and it's very bad in this space. It's very bad
It's the
because the
reason it's
real
the reason you see a lot of problems in the space
a
too, like
100%, because the
Yeah.
communication is,
Yeah.
and that we've had this conversation a lot. Most communication, let's say 90% of the communication in this space, is geared towards how to make as much money as quickly as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
It's not about the
Mhm.
technology. It's not about how you can use this to impact things in a meaningful way.
No.
It's a reason why our brand has never exploded, because Matt and I refuse to take the low hanging fruit and make thousands of dollars pumping bullshit. We just won't do that. So, once people realize that's not what we're about and we're going to grow different ways, we're not really interesting to anybody anymore. But we're
No,
fine
but
with that.
you're fostering what you want. You're giving light and giving energy and breathing life into stuff. Even little small projects like mine, like that I know I can see that's kind of your heart. Even when we talked way prior, we just had a conversation. Like I could see the heart behind what you were wanting to do and what you're wanting to accomplish here. And it's the same way with me. If I make one impact or we can help one family or one child, like that's to me, that's way more than making a bag and then blowing it on something else. Like and to go back to the communication side, like the problem with everyone wanting to make money, it's great. I want to make money too, but you see people's true colors come out when a project doesn't work out, or they put
Yes.
all this hope and energy into something they thought was going to turn out this way, like the expectations were high, they don't mint out, and then they cut and run and you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I have countless projects that we contacted early on, collaborated with good people, but like the day they minted or it didn't go the way they wanted to, they were gone. Like I haven't heard from them since, and it's sad because I know they were good people at their heart, but their expectations were up here, and when it didn't happen, they got depressed or they took. And
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, it's like there's so much more here. And again, it does go back to communication. When people don't get what they expected, be it money or be it from a founder or from a project, communication starts getting, there's a lot
Yeah.
of friction. There's a lot of fudding. We hear that term all the time, but that's a real thing. Some of it's funny and good-hearted, lighthearted. I love it. And some of it's like vicious and goes for the throat and then crosses the line, like we've seen a lot of times with some of this, the bigger people and influencers in the space that cross the line to degrees like I have no time and energy for that.
Yeah. It's
And again,
absurd.
a lot of people are like, well, are you worried about being doxxed? And people are like, I'm not worried because I'm here for the right. Like I'm not leaving. Like
Right.
I've put so much effort and time and energy, my life, my children, my family, like all this on the line for something. Like I have nowhere else to go. Like this is
Yeah.
like Web3 is part of my family now. And I know that sounds kind of dorky and cliche, but like honestly, I've put 2 years hard of my life and my heart and soul into this. And I want people to not only to see that, but I want other people to involve themselves. And I think, like you said, a lot of people are really resonating with us and even maybe me to a certain degree. They see my passion and heart behind what I do, but like those types of communities and people really do make Web3 a better place. And I think if we can be a louder, better, brighter voice than these kind of negative aspects, and you're going to have scam artists, you're going to have loud people that are always, doing things that I don't really maybe align with or agree with, which is fine. That's life in general. That's everywhere. But we have to be the builders,
Yep.
the givers, the people that like you guys that are really trying to make a difference. Like we have to be louder, not louder from a vocal perspective, but like we have to be seen more, put ourselves out there more. That's why I said like the new meta is founders and people that are really stepping up and being more seen.
Yeah.
Not only just not docs, but just being more out there and transparent for their community
Yeah.
and stuff. So
I think that, you know, to your point, I think that both groups of people were there. Both people, there were the people who are doing shady things, and there's the people who are trying to do something for real. I'd
Yeah.
like to think this is what's happening. I'd like to think that some people were planting grass seed at the same time. Some people were planting, you know, oak trees. And it takes a little longer for that oak tree to come up, but that's because it was building roots. And so
Yeah.
the good news is like now that we're in this bear market, you know, the grass is getting exposed for what it is.
Oh, quickly.
and,
Yeah.
and all that's going to be left is those people that were spending that time building roots. And so to Mike's
Yeah.
point, yeah, we may not get a lot of fanfare because we're not doing the quick money grabs, but long term, man, if you got to pick which one you want to invest in, you know,
Oh,
oak's the winner.
look at what we're setting ourselves up for long term. Like
Yeah.
when the
Mhm.
when the bull does start to run again, or when things do start going well again from a market perspective, we're going to be prepared. We're going to be ready. We'll be already set up for success.
Yep.
And then you'll have people coming in again, like they did this last time, trying to start all over again just because they see the money there. Whereas projects like the Plague or Chompies or non-fungible travel, moving friends, all these even I'm naming ones within the Plague ecosystem, like
Yeah.
all these projects, brawler bears that have already built and done and proven and are sustaining already, not only for themselves but for their communities. When the bull does start to run, we're so set up for success. Like I'm more excited about that.
Yeah.
Not the money aspect, but like being ready and already being proven when when the flood of people do start coming in, because it's going to happen. You guys know it. Like I think everyone that's in the space now, even through the bear market tough times, know that like when those times do and it does pop off again, which will be at a year from now, 6 months, 2 years from now, we'll be so ready and so prepared. Like we need people like us to be prepared.
Yeah.
Because when the flood of people do come in, you've got to have people ready and prepared. And I think that's why they need more people like us and you guys and stuff.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. So let's do this,
Yeah.
dude. We're rapidly going to be approaching an hour and a half convo already. I love every second of it. But let's do this. We like to start off with your project. I want to get to your project,
Yeah.
make sure we talk about that, and then talk about maybe the future of Web3. And we do it very simply. 1 minute elevator pitch. What is Chompy? Me, you, and Maddie just got in an elevator. We're going to the 10th floor. You got a limited time to tell us concisely why I should spend my hard-earned money on a Chompies and why I should be super jazzed up to be part of the community.
Yeah, man. $100 gets you in the door right now. You can mint for $100. We got about 200 left. Actually, that's my quick sales pitch there. But yeah, Chompies, man. We're a small community, but we're a strong community. We got givers. We got people that like myself and even like you guys that really want to make a difference in Web3, a tangible difference. We have our mobile game that we talked about earlier. Like it's already playable, or it's free. Anyone in the world can play it. It's built out. We're adding new modes and new game modes. We have a tournament going on right now. You have the staking aspect if you want to make a little. If you're not into gaming and you just want to passively make some FRG, which is the Plague native token, that is tradable. That is something that you can trade in for ETH or another token. Yeah, that's something that if you want to passively do and you're not a gamer, so to speak. We also have the artist launchpad initiative. We want to support artists in the space, and we already had a successful launch with a good friend of mine, Berlin, who's also a team member. She's an artist. She launched her Berlin's Bees. We launched that through a Fair XYZ. That went really smooth, and that was pretty amazing to see kind of unfold. And we're using that little project of hers to kind of further bring in other artists, and we're going to support those. And then you have the giving aspect. If you're a giver, if you love to see tangible change in the space, we've been able to like really see and help Caden, who's an autistic artist in the space. young boy, which obviously resonates with me. And I think a lot more people I'm learning in the space that have family members, friends that have autistic children. It's pretty beautiful to see that come together. But we've been able to help him go to school, pay for some of his schooling, and we're going to continue to give not only to him, but many others in the space as well. So givers, gamers, stakers, artists.
I love
We
this.
got a little bit of everything. So for a small project, we have big aspirations too.
Dude, little engine that could. You're making multiple things happen. And listen, you already went one step ahead of the game, because we've talked to many companies that have raised millions of dollars and yet to produce a game yet. You already have a game, and you didn't have the millions of dollars startup capital, which is pretty impressive.
No.
So
all on our own time, dime. The people that I have working for me are with me now. Martin, NFT Love, Berlin, my friend Josh. Up until just recently from our launch, they had not gotten $1. Like, we did all this with heart, passion. Like, I've given a lot of my own time and money to something that I didn't know if I would get back in return. Like, it's not something I even really expected.
yeah,
But they've been able to like really help me out, and it's been beautiful to kind of see and be a part of. And now, you know, we're reaping the benefits of that. We were able to raise almost 1 million FRG, which is to put that in perspective, it's like we had originally only thought we'd maybe only raise about 100,000 FRG. We've 10x that, and that's why we've been able to do a lot of what the community gave that. So
That's
we're going to
awesome.
give back to the community a lot of that FRG that they helped raise for us. So
that's
it's pretty cool,
dude.
to be able to give back. That's part of the giving too, man. Not just the charitable aspect, but giving back to the people that had faith and trusted in us, which is the staking, the gaming, and being able to give back the FRG that they essentially gave to us and trusted us with. So
That's awesome,
cool.
dude. So let's do this. Let's talk about, you know, you said there's still 200 in mint. So there's some out there. If somebody watches this, you know, in the next couple of days, they might still be able to mint one of these if they're enticed by everything that you've said, and just you as a stand-up human being. What does the next 6 to 12 months look like for the project?
Oh, wow. So, and I touched on this briefly, but most of the time, and you guys know this too, like, you buy an NFT, you buy into a project, you might have to wait months on something to come to fruition. They need the funds, like you said, either VC backed, or they raise it VC wise, or they need all of their project NFTs to mint out to be able to do anything with the project. We had a lot of this done beforehand. We had a lot of the staking set up and ready to go through Scott Mitchell, who has helped us out immensely, like another giver in the space, just a dude that I can't dump enough flowers on. My in real life friend Josh, who gave all of his time and money, built out this game that's free on iOS, Android. You can play it on PC as well. Essentially, you have all these things already set up before, like, we haven't even minted out yet, and they're already doing it. You already have this aspect done. Whereas before, you typically buy an NFT, wait around for the project to either do something with it, and in the meantime, you're just kind of sitting holding a picture or, you know, an NFT, a JPEG essentially. We were able to deliver, which is something I'm really proud of. The next 6 to 12 weeks, months, like, we're already in talks with Hero Galaxy, which is a project, a gaming project, that's going to allow us to really kind of branch out and take us to the next level software wise. We'll be able to do a lot more with with what they offer gaming wise. We're partnered with Brawler Bears, Gaming Ape Club, Crypto Dads. These are partners of ours. Like, these are people we talk to on the daily that are really supportive of us, that are already really well established in the space. Obviously, the Plague, they took us in and allowed us to be a part of something bigger, and that's humbling also. But, like, what we plan to do, our goal is to take over the Web3 gaming and Web2, tie in Web2 and Web3 gaming. We already have a Web2 mobile game that anyone my kids play it. My kids play it day. I have some friends of mine that live hours away, states away, that play our game. They don't really know yet the Web3 aspect, but we're going to use it as a tool, kind of like a marketing tool, when they start seeing, like, what's this, like, you can win NFTs, what I don't understand. Like, we're going to tie all that in together, and we've already reached out and kind of branched out to other companies and in talks with some other projects and stuff as far as branching out a little bit further. The staking aspect will continue. We're already set up like guaranteed 3 months, and we're looking to a year now of full on staking and probably beyond. Like I said, that's something we're already guaranteeing. Like you're going to be able to stake, earn FRG. The artist launchpads, that aspect, like we're going to continue to bring in artists. We're already collaborating with the Plague artist Rimbic. Berlin and Rimbic are setting up something now that's pretty awesome. We have something, I can't drop this alpha. I'll drop a little bit of it, but Mechanic, who is the partner founder of Moving Friends, we're going to have access to a whole world, like I guess you would say a Chompy verse, where we'll be able to build, create. I can't go into great detail because those things are not final yet, but that's going to be a really cool aspect that our holders will have access to. FRG will be a main staple within that ecosystem. If you want to think of something like, if I could liken it to maybe Minecraft, something along those lines, where you're going. I mean, essentially that's where we're heading. I won't say any more on that because I'm
alphas being dropped.
I have a tendency to leak sometimes, like a faucet. So I need to shut up because I'm excited. I get excited about my project and about what we're doing. And again, I alluded to earlier the big brands of reaching out to like the Colgate's, Oral-B's, or even launching our own toothpaste, toothbrush line for kids. Chompies is a kid friendly. Like it just works. Like I know we're kind of in the quirky, goofy. You know, we're not like a real true artistic statement in the space, but we are in like the cute kid friendly meta, and I think it works. It's fun,
absolutely
goofy, silly. I love it. My kids love it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to be a part of, man.
Dude, Maddie and I talk about this all the time. Listen, if you speak directly to your target market, you're winning the game, and that's what you're doing with Chompies. You're targeting kid friendly, and you've done that with your artwork, which is exactly what you need to be doing. Let's do this. I got one. I
have a question.
Oh, Maddie, go ahead.
So Mikey asked you about an elevator pitch, and that was a really long elevator ride, right?
It was.
And that's okay, because I can tell you're excited. And what was cool is like you really do have a lot to say about this. It's not like you just said the same thing 4 different ways. You like opened the whole bucket out and all the toys came out, which is cool. Here's what I'm after though. If you were to boil it down, right? So because when I look at Chompies on Twitter, it says Chompies are here to redefine the Web3 gaming experience. Already have a free mobile game, Paratrooper.
Yeah.
What if you were to just distill it down? What is it that like you wake up and you want to do this? What is it about Chompies that you are passionate about? If you were to just distill it down,
the community, like we have already kind of like garnered and forged and created, cultivated this like giving, like the people, even from like Stargirl and some of the people that are really prominent in our community. And I'll touch on that with the Chompies Fund .eth, but like we've already seen so many people just give of their time, effort, and energy. Like that's what drew me to the Plague early on, was the community of kind of like-minded people that were really there, not for themselves, but for others as well. And I love what we've already built and what we're already building. But if I was to like dumb it down or like condense it, it'd be like, come be a part of something that's bigger than you. Take out the kid-friendly aspect. Come be a part of a community that's here to give to others, that's here to see change, be change, make change. And like, it's fun. Like to do it is really fun. This has all been so fun to be a part of. It's like a club community, group of people, of friends that have really come together and made a difference. It's kind of awesome to see. In real
so here's my challenge for you, Josh, because what you just said, Stargirl could say, or any of the people here in chat that are talking about could say, right? Because they are part of that community. What is it you're passionate about as a founder? Do you know what I'm saying? From your putting on that hat, you have a lot more to do than the average person participating, and you're doing it. So it's got to be more than that. Let's peel the one more layer back. What is this core that has you working so hard for this, man? What is it you're passionate about? Boil it down.
Yeah. Well, not only the community aspect, but like for me, even touching back on what we talked about earlier, like I'm here to see change, to be change, to make change. But like I wake up every day for my son, for my family, my son, my autistic son. I have other children too, but like he is the driving force behind what I do because I get to see him every day, not only struggle to communicate, but we touched on the communication aspect earlier, but like really wake up and know that I'm a part of something in Chompies that can not only help other children that are maybe in the same deal with the same struggles that he does, but really reach out and help other people in the community and in the space. Like like honestly, man, like I'm a giver. I've given so much already, but like I want to continue to give back. The mobile game, like that aspect, like we are going to give and create a game like anyone can play, kids, adults.
Sure.
It's going to be amazing. Like I'm so excited about that aspect of it. But if I was to just from a Josh wakes up every morning, what is he excited about? I'm excited about the people I get to surround myself with daily, from my team, Martin, Berlin, Josh, my son, who's the driving force and the reason I'm even here today. Like it's so hard to get through a bear market, not only just from a personal perspective, but when you're launching a project and building a project, to show up daily in the grind when all this mess is going on in the world and in Web3. Like my heart is to see change, be change, not only for the people that I'm around daily, like Martin and Berlin and Josh, but for my son. Like,
Yeah.
At the
There
end
it
of
is.
the, at
You
the end
said
of the
it,
day,
man.
I'm a father.
So
I'm a
now,
father.
yeah, I think you said it. And here's what it is like at the end of the day, you genuinely believe this is the vehicle that's going to provide the best for those people that you love.
Absolutely.
And that's the passion I'm hearing coming out of you.
Yeah.
And my only piece of advice is just always make sure that is when people know that, man, it's like that drives people to people want to be around people like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's
I need
obvious
that
to tell.
reminder.
It's obvious to tell you're passionate. You know what I mean? And that draws people in. But just man, always lead with that part of your heart, because once it's like, man, I could be doing other things with my time. I'm choosing this because I feel it's the best way for this to happen and to make a difference. And I just think that's something you don't want to lose. Something you don't want to lose. So,
sometimes you need reminded, man. That really did. Like even with you kind of digging, because I know I saw what you were doing there, and I was really trying to think. But like, it really does remind me of why I'm here, because you can get caught up in like it's almost like the political, like, well, what are you offering to your constituents? At the end of the day, I'm here for my children, for my son, for the community, for a change. I want Web3 to be a vehicle of change. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of the desire to see that change, man. And I even thank you for bringing that up, because I need reminders of that sometimes. You forget. You get kind of going on in life, and you forget why you're here sometimes.
Dude, Maddie, masterful way of getting that out and asking that question, because what you said in the very beginning, Josh, you said it very concisely in an articulate way about your son. That's going to make a great short and a great video for your community. I can't wait to cut that up for you.
Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man. So let's do this. We got the future. We're getting close to time. We're at time pretty much. We have one more question that we ask at the end of every time. I do want, and Maddie, what are your thoughts? That we do have the question on, I think since you've been through a lot of different things, just to get your very quick thoughts on biggest learning lesson, Josh, for as a founder, a tech entrepreneur in Web3. What is your biggest learning lesson, or something that you would like to share through people that are really considering starting a company in this space, taking that entrepreneurship dive? What would be your advice?
Oh, absolutely. and I've had people there've been a lot of people coming through kind of the plague frog tank that have reached out to me that knew we made it through successfully. We were kind of one of the first projects that went through. It was a little different setup and system then. Pons had reached out and said, like, why don't you pitch your, he and I had kind of talked back and forth some prior to, so I pitched it to the frog tank. We went through, they got to hear my passion. Essentially, I gave like an hour long elevator pitch about the passion and why I do. And I obviously it worked. It resonated with them. But I think for people that have come to me and I've given this advice, like, surround yourself. Like, it's so important, not with people that believe and think everything you do, but surround yourself with people that are passionate, that are there not only for themselves, but for the community and for, just surround yourselves with good people. Like, I know that may sound cliche to a certain extent, but like, without the people, without my team, like, we would not be where we are right now. And I could do a little bit on my own, but like, until I found the people that were really here, not just for me, but like saw the greater reasons for us being here, the passion, they like you guys can hear like my passion of why I'm here. Until you can find people that are really in this for those reasons with you and for you, I wouldn't even start a project. Like, looking back, I wish I had found the people that I have now 6 months ago. We probably could have minted in the bull run and it would have been, magical. But all that being said, like, the life lessons I learned in the last 6 months and through the tough times, and even waiting to launch, like, all those have been so valuable. Like, I can't even overstate like how valuable the communication, the connections with people that I made, the partnerships, the projects, the people that I've come in contact with in the last 6 months. Like, surround yourself with good people. There are amazing people in this space that you can find. You've got to find them because they're out there. It doesn't take long. I'm a communicator and I try to see good in people, but like, you can get a pretty good idea in Web3 whether someone's here for their own benefit, or if they're here maybe to see change and to kind of do what maybe you want to do. And that would be my advice: is find good people. They're out there, and lock them up. Get a tight grip on those people and keep them close. Take care of them. Take care of them.
Yeah.
Take care of them.
Well,
Take care of them.
We're gonna end it with just straight up lock them up, man. Just lock them up. I like that. All right,
man.
so now we're getting towards the end. This has been a fascinating conversation. One last questions, and then Maddie and I will do our closing comments, and we will call it a night. And that last question is this: you have been part of hundreds, if not thousands, of Twitter Spaces and communication platforms like we have talked about in the Web3 space and life. How do you think your time on Midlife Crisis Podcast tonight went compared to what you've experienced in the past?
This has been, I'm not giving handies out here. I'll give flowers. This has been the best space podcast. Like, I knew it would be good. When I talked with you, Mikey, I haven't got to talk with Maddie. Maddie's equally. I see why you guys have been friends for so long. You guys are kind of two of the same, one of the same kind, man. I see the friendship, I see the bond there, and it makes sense now. But when we got to talk a while back, man, it was really like, I knew it was going to be good, and I was excited about it. But honestly, before like I came on and we turned the video on, and I was exhausted. I'd put my kids to bed. Like, I was just like, I don't want to do this. But hearing your guys' passion, hearing you guys, like, the way you approached me and the time and energy you gave me, like, we need more of what you guys are doing. Like, there's not enough of this. I love spaces, and I've gleaned and gotten a lot of great information and made a lot of friends within spaces. But like, these tight-knit communications and like connections that we're making, like, and people being able to see like the passion, see like your heart behind stuff, like, these are key. You guys did a great job of like bringing that out. Even like the last, like, Maddie, like, really digging at the core, peeling back that layer, man. I needed that. Like, I need reminded sometimes, we all do, of why we're really here, truly here. Because we can kind of get caught up in the finances, the launch aspect, the trying to communicate with all these people. But at the end of the day, why are we here? And I'm here to see change, to be changed, and I know Web3 can be that too. And you guys are a part of that now, and I'm anxious to kind of keep this going. Whatever you guys ever need from me, man, I will be there, and I appreciate you even having me on, man. It's been awesome,
dude. That warms our heart. What your response is what we're going for, and
man. You accomplished it.
we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight the good fight, man, with you. So
lock it up, man. Just lock it up.
we're gonna lock it up together. Maddie, I'll let you say your closing words. I'll say mine, and we'll call it a night. And by the way, before we even get there, huge shout out to the community. Chat been popping the whole time. You're bringing an energy.
Awesome,
as well too, Josh. We had some of your community pop in, say hi, give us a subscribe. So it's been a good night on the chat side too. Excited for you to watch this back.
I was wondering about the time zone. I'll continue to pump you guys. We'll get you guys some more. You guys have already exceeded expectations, I'm sure, but we need more of these. And there's some good people you need to talk with too out there. I'll try to link you guys up with some good founders too, man.
Hell yeah, man. We appreciate it. Maddie, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I've loved this conversation. At the end of the day, I love actually your response to Mikey's last question was fantastic for a couple different reasons. But one of the things that really resonated is you talked about how, there's a need for the space, but that there's a lot of information out there. I think there's a lot of what, but there's not a lot of why. And the why is such a crucial component. And to your point, that's what this is about for us. There's not enough real relationships with people that are growing this space and moving it forward, which is why Mike and I do what we do. And what's cool is listen, man, we don't know. We have a good idea when somebody comes on the show. Mike does. There's a vetting process, and obviously, our connection was through Star. But when it comes to, when we get into this conversation, you saw it. I mean, we have a conversation a couple minutes before the stream, and then we're live. And then all of a sudden, the friendship is forming right here. And what was cool is even tired, just putting your kid to bed, you work, you got a job, you could see the light come on in you as you talked about this. And so I think that passion is going to carry a long way.
You guys brought that out of me. Like, it takes a real, like, when Mikey told me about this before, well, I thought I knew we'd dive into different stuff, but being able to touch on aspects like childhood, it really, like, we forget about those things. Like, I forget, I get so busy. I think as people in the States and even in Web3, we get so busy, man. We forget about why we're here. We forget about what got us here. And you guys being able to bring that out of not only me, it got me fired up. Like, talk about my mom, talk about, like, that's the shit. Like I needed that. Like, wake up. It is a wake up call. Like, because I forget, like, you get so busy in life, you forget why you're here, what you're here for. These type of interviews, these type of conversations. I've had a couple something similar on Spaces, but not this deep dive. Like, these are beautiful, man. Like, this is why. And I know it's just us three in a room, but like other people being able to kind of see and it resonate with them too. Like, more of this is needed, and I love you guys for it. And lifelong friends now. The Joshy, Mikey, and Maddie.
Dude, he's gonna let us call him Joshy.
There it is.
Just an hour and a half ago.
Lock it in. Joshy, Mikey, Maddie.
I love it. Nice. I love it.
Only you guys.
Dude, straight up, Josh was that we were not allowed to call him Joshy an hour and a half before, but he won him over through the Midlife Crisis podcast, baby.
Love it. But yeah, man, it's been awesome. So thank you so much for being on the show. Looking forward to growing with you, man. Let us know how we can help.
And Josh, I just want to add, man, I felt your passion. I felt your genuineness when we had our first call. I actually really love those calls, especially when I talk to someone like you, because still, I think it's almost, and this was never by design, but I think it's now just part of we do it, is we don't give too much detail about like how this whole experience happens, enough that you feel prepared. But I do think it's just like a magical thing. And it was really cool to see you finally like let the handcuffs go because you kept on going to the Web3 and the project in the beginning, but you finally were like, okay, if we're going to talk about life a little bit, and you got our vibe. And when you did that, it was super magical, and your Haiti story was awesome. And I can tell from the people in the chat, people feel your passion, and you align exactly with what we're trying to do. And what gets me really, really excited is people like us, the three of us sitting on the screen right now. I full-heartedly believe in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be us that are standing atop the industry, because all the finance stuff will go away, right? We actually had these guys, which I'll send you the link to. We're going to upload their podcast, but they made a great point that 20% of the potential Web3 market is financing and investing, which that's all focused right now. There's this huge, massive 80% market that's untapped, which is using Web3 to build companies. And those people like us and like you are going to be at the top of that, because all of this degenning and hype is going to go away. And there's going to be people that people want to connect with and are building genuine, interesting.
At the end of the day, relationships stand the test of time. 100%. Money fades, hype fades, degenning is fun for a while, but it fades. Like relationships, people, communication, like love, giving, all the passion that like we all kind of even been able to share here, man. Like that sustains, that stays. Like I love. You have to have money to help people. You have to have money to do things in life, but at the end of the day, like I'll take this all day long. I'll take the relationship aspect. I'll take the love and passion that we've kind of shared and been able to talk about. Like, give me this all day long, man. I of course I need money. I got to pay bills, but like, give me this, man. I love you guys. Appreciate it.
And that's it, man. You capped it off perfectly. Been a fantastic time. Thank you for your time. I know you got a lot going on. We all do. And with that being said, people, like I said, just a couple minutes after we sign off, we're going to sign off right now. We'll do a follow-up, let you know what's going on. And with that being said, chat, thank you for turning out, popping off the whole time. We freaking love you. Stay close to our Twitter. We'll let you know about the next guest. We got a podcast being uploaded too. We freaking love you all. Stargle, thank you, Star. You're the freaking GOAT. Midlife crisis is...
Chomp. Can I get a chomp, chomp, chomp?
Chomp, chomp, mother.
Chompity chomp.
Mother truckers, chomp, chomp all night long, baby. Midlife crisis.